And we are live. Welcome back to another episode of the Ducks on Base podcast. The Oregon Ducks managed to go through the Eugene Regional unscathed and advance to the Supers for the first time since 2024. We'll be taking on the Texas Longhorns, and we'll be previewing them uh, throughout this episode. Fox, you want to start the
Yes,
discussion off?
yeah. So Oregon gets through the Eugene Regional. Um, they managed to win against Yale. They managed to beat Washington State, and then they beat Oregon State. Both of the two games that we did not discuss in the past, the Washington State game and the Oregon State game, Oregon's pitching really just dominates. Will Sanford has one of the best performances of the year. He keeps managing to pile on these great performances. Uh, Washington State pitcher also has a great performance in that game, but Oregon manages to really pull ahead in the ninth inning with a 3-run home run by Junior Lowacki, and really Oregon just then has a really tight game against Oregon State for most of it. Oregon goes behind first. They manage to tie it up, and then two bases loaded walks by Albert Robles really just puts the game out of reach. And then there was also a fielder's choice to third base with a throwaway to put 3 up in the inning, and then really Oregon just puts on Luke Morgan, Tanner Bradley, and Devin Bell to end the game. Luke Morgan has 3 strikeouts. Tanner Bradley has 2 strikeouts. He also has a hit and a hit by pitch, but Devin Bell gets a strikeout and has a ground out to end the game. Oregon makes its 3rd super regional in 4 years. The first super regional under was the Oral Roberts. Then the next year they went to Texas A&M, also against Jim Schlossnagel, who's the head coach of Texas. He was the head coach of Texas A&M. Last year they go 0-2 in the regional, and this year they go 3-0, and they're going to fly off to Texas and play them tomorrow at 5 o'clock PST.
Yeah. Yep. National spotlight for the Ducks this weekend. Both games will be on ESPN. But yeah, we solid performance through the weekend. Obviously wish there was a little more offense. I think we all wish that, but enough offense was mustered, especially in the Oregon State game with a couple of huge walks that drew in a few runs. I think that inning was huge. The crowd made a big difference. Obviously, Albert Robles probably had his worst outing of the year. But yeah, I think Oregon is going in hot. We'll see if the momentum keeps if they can bring the momentum into Austin.
Yeah, Oregon overall. We'll quickly move on to Texas. They had hosted their own regional. They played 2 games that were basically laughing stocks. They played Holy Cross, beat them 19-1. They played Tarleton State 16-2, and then the only game that they really were challenged was UC Santa Barbara. This regional would have been really interesting if UC Santa Barbara won the first game. They did not. They had to use Flora against Holy Cross, and then quite relatively easily beat Tarleton State, and then had a pretty good performance against Texas. UC Santa Barbara just their fourth pitcher, Kellen Montgomery, is just not as good as what Flora is, or he does have a decent performance. He gives up 2 runs in 5 2/3, but the bullpen just can't hold it down. Texas really uses basically everybody in their bullpen to try and hold the game out, which is interesting to see and will be a good thing to look forward to if Oregon manages to win either one of the first two games and goes to a third.
Yeah, they in their game against UC Santa Barbara for Texas, it was Roger Riojas. He went 5 innings, and then they got a lot of bullpen guys like with short stints. I expect to see a few of them in this series. Notably, their closer Zach Cozart, Sam Cozart. We'll expect to see him quite often if the game is close. He kind of struggled in the last game. He went an inning and 2/3, gave up 5 hits and a run. But I think it'll be interesting to see. It's a two quality pitching staff going at it, and it'll definitely be some close games this weekend, I feel.
Yeah, we'll quickly go over the batting. Really, the guy you have to look out for is Anthony Pack Jr., a freshman, first year. He's going to be all NCAA baseball all freshman team, guaranteed, basically, I think.
Yeah.
In his first season, he's an outfielder, batted .358, 1.078 OPS. He has a slug of .602, on base percentage of .476. So he hits for average, gets on base. He's hit 11 home runs on the year. But that's not all. They have it's like a trio of 3 players that really carries this team. It's Aiden Robbins. He's hit 23 homers on the year. And then you have Carson Tinney. He's hit 21 homers on the year. You just got to keep these guys off the base path. They also steal a lot. They're 109 for 124 over the year. It's like basically the way I think about it is it's just they have the offense to do it, and then they have one really great pitcher to really get them a win in a game.
Yeah, I mean, they have some notable, like Fox said, these guys that we just named, Aiden Robbins, Carson Tinney, Anthony Pack Jr. will probably be a draft name in a few years when he's eligible. There are some quality guys up and down their order. So definitely will be interesting to see can Oregon's pitching staff limit them as much as possible. Obviously, the big debate on Twitter has been, is Texas Ballpark play big, or is it relatively similar to PK Park in a sense? It is the same dimensions, but humidity can change things. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think it'll be either my prediction, it'll be some close games, but it'll swing one way or the other. We'll find out probably really early on, in my opinion. Close game, pitching duel, or it'll be a homer, offensive fest. So we'll see.
Yeah. Quickly going on to the pitching, the guy you have to listen to, he's going to be starting the first game against Cal Scolari. As stated, it's Dylan Delantis, 1.94 ERA, a sub-1 WHIP, so 9.94 WHIP. He's 9-1 on the year out of 15 appearances. He's pitched 83 1/3 innings. He's only given up 2 homers on the year. His batting average against is 181. He struck out 116 guys and has only given up 23 walks. So he has over a 5-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. He's only given up 18 earned runs on the year. It's going to be hard, but he's going to be the second hardest pitcher that Oregon's faced this year, because Jackson Flora is the better pitcher.
Yeah.
Overall. So there's definitely hope for Oregon, it's not as what some people have said, where it's just like, oh, it's a guaranteed loss. Oregon has faced a better pitcher than Dylan Volantis, like pedigree wise. I think Dylan Volantis probably is pitching a little bit better than Flora this year.
Yeah.
But the pedigree, like Oregon has faced a similar level of opponent.
Yeah, definitely Oregon has faced some quality arms. Obviously, we faced Jackson Flora earlier in the year. We faced Mason Edwards is a quality arm that we saw. Grant Goble, so quality arms throughout the year, and I think this will definitely put Oregon's offense to the test, and I think we might be capable of it.
Yeah, it's basically the way I see this first game going, and we'll talk about more about the other pitchers later on over like more videos later this week. Dylan Volantis is basically gonna be how fast can you get him out of the game? It's the same thing as the Jackson Flora game, where it's like if you let this guy pitch like what Oregon struggled with, it's happened before and it will happen again, is where they just chase immediately and you struggle to be able to get on base and drive this guy's pitch count up. If you can get him to only pitch 4 or 5 innings in this game, Oregon's going to take that out to win no matter what happens. Because then you eat into the bullpen, you play. If you lose, you play for the next few days.
Yeah.
But if this guy goes like 7 or 8 innings, you're not going to do yourself any favors to win the next 2 games. Because like there's no pitch counts on the relievers.
Yeah.
Which will be the big thing. And Oregon's best shot is to win on Sunday, where you're going to have Will Sanford on 8 days rest, basically fully juiced and ready to go. That's going to be Oregon's best chance to win a game, and then you'll see if you win that, you'll see on Monday. But what Oregon needs is a good start from Cal Scolari, and then you'll see what happens.
Yeah, I also definitely think Volantis has a full arsenal, right? His fastball, slider, all that is all quality pitches. So being able to see the ball as best as possible and try to, like Fox said, work up that pitch count. Yeah, I mean, I think it is kind of an advantage, I guess, because we are going to a hostile environment. Will Sanford does thrive on that kind of adrenaline and intense atmosphere. So we'll see if he's able to channel that into a good start on Sunday. Go into Friday, take care of business as best as you can, and they give whether or not we win or lose. I think definitely give us a shot going into or not Friday. Sunday. Holy crap! A little weird playing Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But yeah, going to Sunday with his shot, whether it's to win the series or stay alive. Yeah.
Yeah, my big thing, I think, is to see how Oregon does against a really talented left-handed pitcher. Because Dylan Volantis, lefty, Oregon struggled a ton against lefties overall this year. They've gotten a little bit better. But, man, you just gotta find a way, which is like 90% of the battle.
Yeah.
His last start, let's quickly go into this, was okay. I would say based on his standards, it was maybe not the best start. He went 6 2/3, 3 hits, one earned run on 7 strikeouts. But I mean, his team was winning like 19-2. So there's not much you could really have a better. Okay, you could have a better start, but like the game was kind of already out of hand.
Yeah, especially with their two two crooked number, like two or three crooked numbers that they put up in the second, the fourth, and the sixth. You kind of just cruising from that like third inning on, really. Um, so yeah, agreed. Definitely not the greatest Dylan life to start. Um, but we both are aware of what he's capable of, and I think it's a let's to see what Oregon can bring to the table, and can they meet meet the expectations, or expectations, whatever expectations the people have of Oregon going into this SEC powerhouse.
And I would also say, like, Oregon is the underdog in this series.
Yep, no doubt.
It was also the same thing like 2 years ago against Texas A&M, where basically people were like, "Oh, Oregon has no shot against Texas A&M. They shouldn't be here."
Yeah,
It's type of that thing. But
yeah,
Oregon basically played Texas A&M the closest out of every team except Tennessee that year,
yeah,
going into the final two series, and Texas A&M came in second. So I think this team manages to play up to the competition, and I think they'll be ready, and we'll see how it goes. And I think this year's overall been a pretty big success for Oregon to get back, host a regional, win your regional, and then you're playing probably against, I'd say, like a top 3 team that's like in odds of winning the College World Series this year.
yeah.
Going to quickly talk about the weather as it is. It's actually pretty interesting. It's not that windy, 6 miles per hour wind, but there is a thunderstorm risk in the area, so the game actually might get. There may be a chance that it could get pushed up somehow, but there's a chance of rain and thunderstorms later into the night. So we'll see. Just make sure to just check up like maybe an hour or two before the game and see if the game's actually going to happen.
Yeah, I would bet they try to make it happen. I haven't looked at the weather myself, but I know it's supposed to be humid and a good chance of thunderstorms. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Anything else you want to add, Kenny?
No, not really. I think we covered it all. It'll be a good series. I think one of the better series, honestly, out of the 8 that we have. They're all good series. Don't get me wrong, but like I think it'll be um, a matchup that Oregon will come in with a good mindset. Obviously, they're being doubted, so we'll see if they are up to the standard that the coaches and the program kind of expect. And yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah. With that being said, we'll wrap up this episode. Make sure to like and subscribe on YouTube or Spotify, wherever you listen to this podcast. And follow us on Instagram and Twitter. We'll be posting throughout the weekend. And yeah, we'll see you guys back here for the next episode.